Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, hot damn, dude.
Hot diggity damn.
You never hear about a cold damn.
No, you never hear about a cold damn.
Everybody's always like, hot damn
Maybe
this,
that's
hot damn that.
maybe that's because cold damn is in the inflection, right? You ever hear someone just go, damn?
Yeah.
That feels like
That's
a cold
damn. Yeah.
But like a hot damn, you need the hot.
Mm-hmm.
Hot damn.
Maybe dams are just cold in nature, like just by default, and then you have to add the hot to specify the difference.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
I like that.
Yeah. But damn. That feels cold.
Yeah.
Damn.
Cold-blooded.
Welcome to Cleveland Rocks,
Hey, everybody. It's Cleveland Rocks time. TJ,
Still
how
rocks.
are you?
Good.
Yeah.
It still rocks. When this episode comes out, no. I guess we do have the result of the ALCS.
Yeah, no.
Sorry,
as
Cleveland
of this
Guardians.
recording, the Cleveland Guardians are not going to go to the World Series. They were bested by the New York Yankees.
Yes, but you know what? We
were split watching it because
Yes.
we were both like, look, neither of us are Yankee fans.
No.
But we are in the city. And we think of Subway Series. As of this recording, just to completely tell on ourselves, we don't know who is the NLCS.
We don't know if it'll be Dodgers Mets.
No.
Looks like it might be Dodgers, but we have no idea.
We had no idea right now. We both had a rooting interest in a Subway Series just because it's fun.
Yeah.
But we also realized, we have some Cleveland fandom in us, I think, just by extension of being fans of this sitcom.
Yeah.
So.
Specifically, I
Maybe
want to
not
clarify.
you. I was going to say, you can take your caveats. Pittsburgh.
I will root for. I would have been all for the Guardians going to the World Series. That would have been fine. I hate the Browns. I will never hate the Browns. We have a couple of Brown-centric episodes. Not totally Brown-centric, but a lot of Browns.
It plays a role, plays a part.
Yeah, in these two
eps we watched
these two
today.
eps we watched.
We are officially on the back half of season 2. I think I said this in the last ep as well, but just again
But
to
this
say,
time he means it.
I really mean it.
You guys don't take anything Shane says seriously until he says it a second time.
Yes,
that's what I've learned after years of living together.
It's the punctuation I put onto it. That's the second time,
Right.
So, and we did kind of leave the last one on a cliffhanger, so that resolves itself, of course, in this as well. The Drew's parents situation. I see you looking confused. We get a resolution on that.
No, I forgot that was where we were left.
Yeah.
that Drew had been kicked out of his house
By his parents.
And he was banished to go live in the 1-bedroom, 1-bath apartment that Lewis and Oswald share.
Yes. And as we learned in season 2, episode 13, Hello, Goodbye, it's not a great apartment. So I guess it opens. it's actually really fucking disgusting. Just to put it into terms.
But it opens and they're all sitting down and what seems to be they're watching the Browns game.
They're watching a Cleveland Browns game.
Browns game live on Sunday, you assume. I don't know.
Big man cave energy, it looks like. They're they're all dressed and just the apartment looks a little grimy and they're trying to take bets on touchdowns and this, that, the other. Kate comes in and asks how they're watching a Browns game because the Browns at this point in 1996 had just moved to Baltimore.
Yes.
Which I fully wasn't aware. I was Googling. I didn't realize that was when the move was. I thought it was before.
And then came the Baltimore Ravens.
Right, and out of that hole.
Yes.
Yeah. But it turns out they're not watching the Browns live. This was a game that they attended that they recorded on tape a year ago. So while they're watching it, they see themselves. Oswald's it's apparently below, 0 degrees.
I don't think it was a year ago. To be fair to them,
Okay.
I think they said 89. So
so years ago.
So they might and they were probably belligerent enough. They just don't remember who scored.
Yes,
I'll give them some.
So they're having some fun with it.
Yeah.
But they see themselves in the tape. Oswald is apparently it's below 0, and Oswald's shirtless and covered in glitter or something. Right. Lewis has his ass out, and it says "kick here" or something.
Yeah, Lewis has a great line in his opening. Where he's like, nobody, because Drew's like, man, I miss the Browns. And Lewis is like, yeah, anytime I pull my pants down in public now, nobody understands my ass.
And then, of course, right as they're about to get to the touchdown that they're betting on, the tape stops. And they didn't have enough VHS tape, I guess, to go for it. So.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
Learn a little bit about the apartment too in this opening scene. So I guess is this where we learned about the stove or the bathroom?
That's next. That's coming up. But Drew.
Oh, at this point we're still in the glory days of it might not be so bad.
No, just guys hanging out. It's real. Again, I know we said this earlier, but this is the guys being dudes essence that this show has.
And then Kate. And Kate goes to get her car, cleaned, and I think they bet on whether or not she springs for the hot wax.
Mm-hmm. And they follow her to confirm it. Yeah. So then we see after the titles, Drew goes to check in on his mother. We don't see his. Oh, I guess his dad's in Florida. They say.
Yeah.
Checking in on just some things down there. But his mom's there, and he's trying to he forgot his jacket. He's still in the process of moving. I guess this is 2 days after the fact or so, and he forgot his jacket, so he's outside, and it's already locked. He can't get in. They've changed all of the locks on the doors already, just 48 hours in, and he's trying to gauge how long his mom thinks they're gonna stay here.
Yeah,
and she goes, you'll never hear me complain about this house, even if I have to stay here for the next 30 years.
Yeah, she really drops 30 right away.
Yeah, she's
she has no subtlety with this.
No,
I'm just she should know a little better.
Yeah, or at least be a little considerate towards your now homeless son, essentially.
Also, can we just talk about the dad not being there, because he wasn't in either of these episodes?
No.
What? It seems like an episode he should have been written in. How do these things happen where? Do you think he was I just can't make the shoots, or maybe they just can't pay for him?
I think it's one of those two. I think it's either actor availability or actor or pay stuff. You know what I mean?
And then they're like, okay, let's just write him out.
Right.
It just felt weird that they did this whole arc, and I was like, the dad doesn't know him, but he would have been. Yeah. He's a great character.
Yeah.
So
Drew basically gets scared by the idea that Also, I just want to say, 30 years. His mom's going to be dead in 30 years.
Yeah, that lady's not living 30
years.
So
you're there for the rest of it.
Yeah.
It feels, again, like there's no compromising with this. So then Drew, and I can't remember this exactly, but he starts to basically just make lies up about the neighborhood to scare her away.
Yes.
He's like, there's a crack den down the way.
Yeah, the neighbors have a crack den, and then there's a bunch of prostitutes in the other neighbor's house. Yeah, there's whores.
So his mom, getting scared, but also defensive, opens the door and starts screaming at all the neighbors. That
she's like, we got to take back the neighborhood.
Yeah, exactly.
And she's like, paint your fence, you dirty whores.
You fleshmongers, whatever the fuck. Just, but, innocent people. One of them's a pastor, I think, the people she's yelling at.
Whatever. Yeah. Pastor, and I think he has 3 Vietnamese adopted children or something. Just perfectly innocent people.
Did not deserve.
I do want to point out some of so I guess they're moving in some of her stuff or their belongings into this space. They're making themselves at home.
Yes.
What the hell is this? They're covering up all the appliances in the kitchen with is that for dust? They were little
dust
box
covers.
Are they dust covers?
I bet that's right. Yeah. The things like a napkin dispenser or whatever.
Yeah, and they put them on all of the appliances, and I'm like, what an annoying little.
It's a very old lady thing, I would say.
Yeah,
to be
wrapping the furniture and then put you don't want to have to clean up the appliances when they get dust on them.
Yeah,
so I get it. Yeah,
Did you ever have an aunt or something that would do that with her couch? Growing up, a grandmother.
My grandma, my grandma's house, you didn't really sit on the couches. Not my grandma, grandma on my mom's side, whatever. I mean, that was all fine. But my grandma Swaggart, her, and I don't know if this was an official rule, unofficial rule, whatever, but when you went, you just sort of didn't go into the living room. When you did, everything was put in a very neat, considered place. I think some of the furniture was wrapped, and it was very old lady.
Yeah,
but it was very clean. But you just didn't touch it.
I would hope it's clean. Yeah. If it's fucking covered in bubble wrap, I would hope.
You would just walk into her house and you only went to the kitchen and you only sat in the kitchen.
Yeah.
Or you sat in a chair in the garage outside.
Right. It's just it defeats the did you ever ask her why? I wonder if you thought if she saw the couch as a family heirloom or something.
I have no clue, but nobody saw any of that furniture. I mean, I can't imagine it was that old. But yeah, I just remember tiptoeing around that living room, and maybe in hindsight now, she did use it. I was just a scared child that didn't want to go in the in the other room.
What's that plastic couch? Yeah, I get that. So this is then once Drew and his mom talk, we get him back at the apartment, and we kind of learn the depth of how bad this Lewis Oswald apartment is. Drew tries to do anything, and there's always like a caveat of like, well, no, maybe not from Oswald. The oven is described as a gas leak with a door. The shower, we learn, only works when the neighbor upstairs is showering.
Yes, but the water's already soapy.
I don't like that. We learn that they've tried to complain to their landlord about it, and the landlord, in retaliation, nailed their windows shut.
Yeah. He's like, I'll give you something to complain about.
I knew this landlord was going to be a jerk, but then we actually meet him later in the episode, and it's like 10 times worse than I could have ever imagined he would be. Yeah, so in the middle of Drew Drew does not fully understand, I think, how bad this place sucks until this moment, and he's trying not to be ungrateful because they're helping him out.
Yeah.
But he's fucking pissed. I mean, I would be too if I had to deal with soapy residual water for a shower.
But it's Drew's fault.
Yeah.
Like, I love that he's mad.
Right.
But, like, just stand up to your fucking parents, man.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
I guess, but isn't it their house also in his?
No, Drew owns the house.
Oh, and he's just being kind to them.
Yes.
Yeah, then he's got to fucking man up.
I was like, you got to man up. Kick them out of your place.
Right, exactly.
But no, instead he just sits around and he's moping about.
He lets it get worse.
He lets it fester.
Absolutely.
They do have, for his privacy, I like that they have this sheet tied halfway like across the room.
We come in on Drew changing and Oswald patiently waiting behind the sheet that they've hung for him. But he's taller than the sheet. So he's looking at him changing the whole time. Lewis in the middle of this comes home with Susie from Winfred Louder.
Yeah,
who
Susie
I thought
that
was
used
gone.
to fuck Mr. Bell.
Yeah, he was
season 1.
sleeping around with Mr. Bell in season 1. She's now popped back up into Lewis's life. I don't know how they met, but she doesn't understand that he's just some schmuck.
Well, I guess it had to be like a drug co party.
Oh, is that
because
what the,
he was talking about, like, she was interested in him when they were talking about how quickly he could get to the top of the roof on the ladder. And but like he was also wearing a tuxedo at the party.
He was very
like,
fancily dressed.
She clearly thought that she had some sort of means. She didn't know that he's just a schmuck janitor.
He has also told her as to why they're going to the apartment, it's that he owns the building. So he's just checking in on tenants.
Yeah.
It's pretty funny that this is how it's happened. He's lying to her about what he does.
She has to use the bathroom. Oswald hands her a hammer.
Yeah, to use it, he's got to hammer down the flusher. I think the guys seem concerned, though, that he's not going to be able to keep this up, especially with the way that she likes to spend money.
Yeah.
Absolutely correct. Yeah, he does not have the means as a drug co janitor.
I don't know what they pay at drug co.
No, I don't know what they're paying janitors these days at pharmaceutical companies, but it's not going to be enough for her.
They ask about his car because
and
he pretends he has a Jag.
Yeah, and then they try to go back on that, and then he's like, "Well, no, the Jag hit my Porsche." Like just coming up with 1,000 fancy cars.
Oh boy.
We get then Drew and Mr. Wick cracking each other's back.
Yeah.
Mr. Wick says that he was like trained in back cracking somewhere.
Yeah, at the Royal Army. In the Royal Army.
The fuck? Is that a real thing that they can train you in the Royal Army to crack people's backs?
Well, I guess I just like the idea that
are those
instead
the fucks
of like
with like the big hats?
No. I think the Royal Army is literally just like what they call
the army.
The army there, because the Royal Navy is just what they call the Navy.
Sure.
But either way,
fancy.
Yeah, I like the idea that they're just cracking. But like instead of medics, they have a bunch of chiropractors out there on the front line, like giving adjustments.
Somebody comes in on a stretcher and they just start cracking his back.
Right.
Yeah. So in the middle of that, I love it. Just in the middle of them cracking each other's backs, because Mr. Wick will crack Drew's back, then Mr. Wick's back will be bad. Drew has to crack his back. In return, Mimi comes out and asks if he's auditioning a fourth roommate. rough.
Mimi. How about Mimi? Still with this big old fat crush on Mr. Wick.
You know what? She's trying. I respect her. She's trying to, I think, sleep her way to the top here.
Yeah, she's
Absolutely.
completely changed her too.
Yeah.
Every scene that they're in together, there's this weird like sexual tension that she's created.
Absolutely. Yeah, she's in love with the man. Look at dreamy 90s Craig Ferguson though.
He was, especially we'll talk about it in the next episode at the party. I was like, he looks snatched.
Yeah.
It's like, ooh.
Snatched Wick, you dirty dog. So anyway, at the office, Lewis and Oswald's landlord shows up. Apparently, Drew has been filing enough complaints with him. He hasn't been answering calls, but I guess he threatened that he had compromising photos. And I guess, I don't know if the landlord thought it was of him or if it was of the apartment, but the photos are of the apartment. And it's like, we see a kitchen covered in ants that he says he thinks it's...
You put carpeting in the kitchen?
That's ants! Like, it's just, showers and bathrooms and just, it's a bad situation. And the landlord basically turns it around on Drew by the end of it by being like, oh, wait, hold on. I thought this was Lewis and Oswald. Are you staying there? He goes, yeah, but I'm not happy about it.
Yeah,
and then
Drew totally tells
on himself, and we learn that it's an illegal tenancy, basically.
Of course. And like the whole time I'm sitting here waiting for that to come up. I'm like, this is the only way that this resolves.
Right, exactly.
Like
especially if it's to a point where Drew's himself filing a complaint. Never should have done that. I knew they weren't going to do it, but... So it results in all three of them. They break the lease, basically.
Yes.
So the landlord terminates the lease.
Threw him out, and they're next.
Knock, knock, knock on Kate's door.
Yeah, we see Kate's apartment.
Kate's got a nice apartment.
Yeah, nice little apartment.
I like it.
It's
yeah,
cute. It is
what do you think the rent is for these places in Cleveland?
In the 90s?
In the 90s.
$300.
You think?
Yeah.
Damn, I would have said 500. 300's nice.
I think it would have been 300. Dude, I was renting
in Philly,
in Philly for 700.
Yeah, and that was 20 years later.
Yeah.
Yeah, it could have been 300, you're right. Anyway,
could you imagine
living in an apartment
$300 rent
for a 1-bedroom, 1-bath? It'd be really nice.
You could make what Drew Carey makes and still.
I think the last time a New York City apartment went for $300 in rent was 1876. I believe. Yeah, so anyway, these guys all move in with Kate, and Kate's not thrilled about it, to put it mildly, but she's willing to do it. She's a very good friend.
Of course.
Absolutely.
She's doing her part, and frankly, she only sees it as a couple of days anyway, because the more they sit there and they talk about being there for weeks trying to resolve this. And she's like, this is a few days, and you got to get your
shit together.
So,
Drew is using her deodorant because he doesn't have his. So, it's just gross like that. Lewis, we learned. Oh, what were you going to say about Oswald?
I was going to say Oswald smells like a fresh summer's day.
I did love this. And they're just saying to add it to the tab. And the tab starts because Lewis is making multiple international telemarketing calls.
Because he's trying to scam his way.
He's trying to scam his way into getting more money for Susie, right? Isn't that what this is? He's like selling magazine subscriptions and perfume and all of this stuff.
We also find out here that he got fucking braces.
She hates his teeth, I guess.
Yeah, so Susie told Lewis to get braces.
Yeah.
And
Oswald's like, oh, now all the small rubber bands make sense. Did you have braces?
Yep.
Wow.
I did it was like 2 years in middle. I remember when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Because I kind of have like fucked up bottom teeth. I still feel like I feel like I didn't wear my retainer long enough, and they have shifted a little bit, but they were really bad when I was a kid, and I got them in middle school, and I was like, I just want to get them before high school. I don't want to go. I can't go to high school with braces.
Can't be a freshman.
It's going to be so embarrassing. Yeah, exactly. So,
well, it is like I didn't have them. I'm a perfect specimen from God, but I can't imagine it's comfortable. To have fucking metal all over your teeth.
The worst shit. I mean, it was fine after like a few days, but when you would get them adjusted, because you had to go and you had to get them tightened.
Yeah,
that was painful.
Yeah,
that because then it would just be, your mouth would just ache, and you couldn't eat. And then like even when you ate, it was nasty. You had to get these little brushes to get all the food gunk out of the bar in front of your teeth.
Fuck that.
And then on top of that, I had an overbite because I'm, well,
What are you?
you know what I am.
Yeah.
The audience at home, you know what I am.
Yeah.
I have an overbite. And anyway, I had a really bad one when I was a kid. I had to wear the metal bar.
Metal bar.
There was
like
a metal
the outside
bar
thing.
Yeah, that was.
Yo,
I had headgear,
like that shit from the girl from Finding Nemo.
Yeah, or like that shit to a lesser extent that dude in what was it? Ed and Eddie had to wear.
Oh, Jimmy,
yeah.
Jimmy from Ed, Ed and Eddie.
Yeah, so it was just one bar, but it hooked into the teeth on the sides. And then it went the whole, and then a band you had to clip, and it strapped around your fucking neck.
Oh my God.
And I had this, you didn't really wear it out in public, you just slept with it. But they were like, this is going to adjust your overbite. It felt like some like pseudoscience, like ancient thing that
It feels like medieval torture almost.
Right.
To be like, no, we're going to strap the small child to the metal machine so his smile is nicer.
Exactly.
Oh, fuck, man. I'm sorry. I didn't realize you had to go through all of that.
No, I mean, it was only, like I said, it was only for like 2 years, and I really got kind of bad at wearing that metal bar.
Sure.
Because that was just hell. And it was like, if you wore it in public, it was embarrassing.
Oh,
Because I remember going to like scout camp and all these places and having to roll up with that. Was
this is
cringe.
just thinking with Lewis. Like, I have an aunt who had adult braces. And that sucks. Like, that's like just like weird. Like, imagine like I don't know. I feel like as a mother, that must be a weird thing to try to get your child to calm down while you've got fucking braces on.
Yeah,
I don't know. It's just a weird thought to me. Like
adult braces would be
adult braces are nuts.
They do the Invisalign now. My doctor's always.
Yeah, I'm getting emails about them
They're
all the time.
always the second you go to a fucking dentist when you're an adult and like you finally get your dental insurance and you're on your own and that first appointment at like 26, 27, they're like, so
are you interested
in Invisalign? We can set you up. It'll be a real quick. They don't tell you that like half of it isn't covered by insurance, so it's going to be like $5,000 out of pocket.
I'm not even sure I understand what Invisalign is. Is it like a glue? Like, what is it? What are they putting in your mouth? I don't like it.
Yeah, they just kind of glue the sides and they like hold it. They're like, just hold it right there, and it'll
just
dry.
If you can keep your fingers there.
No, it's like apparently like it's kind of like a retainer in that like, but it's just like a full strip that lays across your teeth, I think.
Oh,
and then it just is supposed to put them back in a place
in order.
Yeah.
Well,
but like,
guess what I'm not getting.
I just don't care.
Yeah,
like my teeth are enough.
Yeah.
Maybe if I had like exorbitant amount of money that I could just kind of keep spending on.
Well, that's the thing.
But it feels like an issue that never will go away.
It feels purely cosmetic in a way.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And once you stop, over time, I feel like it just kind of goes back like it did post braces. So like I can do this now and maybe it'll look good for like 30s,
right?
But when I get to my 40s, am I really going to still want to put this fucking thing in my mouth?
Also, what's the? I mean, look, unless there's discomfort or it's like really bad, what's the problem with having fucked up teeth? A little fucked up teeth, it kind of adds some character.
My dentist is saying like, and if you're a dentist, go ahead and write us.
Yeah. You know the email address; it's in the description.
They say it creates breathing problems.
Well, as somebody who has not been diagnosed, but pretty sure he has sleep apnea. I don't know if I should be talking about this anymore. Maybe I gotta sue my dentist for not taking care of me properly. I don't know. Anyway, yeah, Susie's got him trying to look nicer with braces. That's what all of that was.
Yeah, that's how we got there.
But so basically 8 hours in, and Kate's like, Lewis is charging her, exorbitant amount of bills with over international calls, and Drew and Oswald are using her, like showering supplies. She's like, fuck it, you guys have to figure this out. And Oswald and Kate basically turn on Drew and go, this whole thing is Drew's fault.
And it is,
because Drew can't face his parents, though he has no problem facing their landlord.
Yeah, and getting them kicked out of their
apartment, but he can't address it with his mom, so he says, you know what, fine, next day, we're going to deal with it. We're going to talk with them. And, as a good point to him, he does do it the next day. But before then, we see Lewis finally stand up to Susie, because Susie's like, asking him for this and that and like these nice jewelry and all the other, and he just goes, you see me as an ATM and I'm more than that, and I think simpler things are nice. And
I love in this scene that she's drinking champagne at the Warsaw. Because I think it's just a perfect juxtaposition of these two people.
Absolutely. The fact that she's even at the Warsaw to begin with kind of says, what a lot about Lewis. But
he's like, this is not going to work. He finally stands up for himself.
He stands up for himself, which is good.
They have a bunch of brochures out looking at cruises and whatnot.
Crazy
Rome.
shit.
And he's like, how much sex do I have to have with you to go to Rome? Is what she literally asks.
It's a good question. I think every couple asks that question at least one point.
How much sex before we go to
Rome? Susie's gonna keep gold digging, you know what I mean? Absolutely.
Yeah.
But it ends with Lewis actually physically standing up, and we realize he's actually working at the Warsaw to try to continue to, make more money for her.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and then Drew.
I do like that in this whole thing. Like, she is fine with Lewis working all these bullshit. Like, clearly he's working a bunch of bullshit jobs. So he's no longer really
fancy tux man,
pretending that. Mm-hmm. He has some like crazy, he's sitting on a fortune or he owns a bunch of real estate or anything. He's just a guy that works a bunch of odd jobs, but he'll keep taking them.
He's willing
pay for what? Yeah,
he's willing to do it for her, which I think she also finds attractive. I don't know.
I guess,
but fuck her. Fuck her.
Fuck Susie. Get out of here.
Drew comes over to his parents' house. Mimi is there ahead of time though, and Mrs. Carey is basically telling her, "I don't want to be involved in selling your makeup anymore."
Yeah. Which I forgot about that.
Your multi-level marketing. Well, it's never really addressed. It's like, and I think it's just an excuse to get Mimi in the scene. But like, it's at the end of the last episode. I remember they were having like, all of her friends met in the living room, and they were, having the sales pitch from Mimi and everything.
Was it called Sally Mae? Is that what she said?
I think that sounds right. But that's also,
that's a student
bank?
loan borrower.
Yeah, I was going to say.
So I was like, imagine that pivot as a business.
Yeah.
If you're like, we can't, people aren't, you know what? When you know what's out, makeup.
Yeah.
You know what's
in paying off student loans. Yeah. Everybody needs to pay off student loans.
My wife, Sally Mae, has really bankrolled me through my life so far. I'm still paying her back, but she has helped.
So yeah, Drew talks with her. That's the one moment I enjoyed out of this the most was Mrs. Carey made Mimi dinner, and we learned it's mac and cheese. And Drew goes, "Did she use real cheese?" And Mimi goes, "No." And he goes, "Oh, that's my favorite."
Oh, that's right.
He likes the fake shit.
Yeah. I do too.
It's good.
Whiz on a cheesesteak, that's my shit.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
The mac and cheese powder, you know what I mean?
Oh my God. I even I know it's crazy, a lot of people don't like it, the Velveeta cheese that comes in the weird packet.
I will buy it if it's like the only thing at a store. It's not my favorite. Yeah. I'll eat it though.
I really love it.
Yeah? That's like your number one.
That's my number one if I had to get like store brand mac and cheese.
Oh, that's fucked.
Yeah.
That's fucked, man. I'm sorry. I can't condone that.
What should it be? Kraft?
I think Kraft.
Kraft's. But the powder, it gets too watery.
Well, but yeah, I guess.
I don't know. Unless, I guess you
the
can
Velveeta's
make
like a squeeze pack?
It's like the squeeze pack that comes out like in the cheese sauce.
Okay. All right.
I don't know. I get it. It kind of tastes funky. It kind of tastes funky. I get it. But
Anyway, Drew comes in. And he tries to, explain the situation to his mother. He's like, Oswald and Lewis don't have their apartment anymore, but don't worry, we're going to get you guys back to Florida, and we're all going to live here. And Mrs. Carey's just not having it. She's like, what do you mean? I don't know how that's going to work. Drew offers to take a second job.
Yeah.
No
to
dice.
Help get them a
to
place
help get them an apartment in Florida.
Because he is currently under the assumption that they do not have money.
Right. Well, that's what she said. Is that was the whole end of the last episode. Before this one was, we're so broke, but I guess we'll go out.
But then she opens a little mail.
Well, she basically shuts it down and goes, it's not going to happen. We'll do what we can. And Drew concedes that, yeah, that's not going to work. But Drew had gotten the mail. So she starts opening it. It's a Silver Eagle membership sort of thing. Turns out that her and her husband have gold bonds that are just earning interest. And Drew looks at the letter and they have $130,000 worth of just cash on hand.
Yes, from this gold
that they're not touching. And she's like, well, it's rainy day funds. You know what I mean? And Drew's like, it's pouring, Ma. It's pouring. Yeah, so, and then in addition to that, we learned she has Microsoft stock, and this is in 96.
Yeah, she didn't want to touch her nest egg, but
turns out they got to shake that nest egg. So Drew...
Also, they're like, what age? How long are you holding on
Exactly, right. Like, are you going to leave that to Drew? What's the plan with that? So they agree that they're going to move out, and she's going to get... a little place in Florida now. And I guess, that's where she goes. We never really see her after this.
Yeah, that she just kind of we never see Mr. Carey again, and that's just it. Because then the next scene, they're back at the office, and it's really a throwaway scene.
Right. Well, it's the credit scene.
It's the credit scene, and it's
Susie walks on in.
Susie walks on in and
has
right
a confrontation with Mimi. She wants to get back in. She's going to try to, sleep with Mr. Wick and get all that going. It was pretty good. She's here for the intercourse. I mean, the interview. I mean, I would like intercourse.
Yeah. And then Mr. Wick's like, well, this is no place. This is a place of business. Let's go to the bar for a drink. Mm-hmm. And then he starts to take her out.
And before she can leave, as he's putting a coat on, Mimi just socks her in the fucking face.
Because Mimi's in love,
Well,
dude.
Mimi's in love. Mimi also has a violent personality.
Yeah, she
need to acknowledge at this point. There's a growing
That's not
trend.
cool. You can't, she should be arrested for that. But
it is a place of business, but, yeah.
She loves Mr. Wick.
I can't blame her.
He is a catch.
He's got that hair. He's got your hair.
That accent.
He's got your hair.
Yeah. Good for him.
Yeah. So that brings us then.
Good for him having my hair.
I wish I had my hair. Hey everybody, this episode of Cleveland Rocks is brought to you by Manscaped. Manscaped, the global leader in men's lifestyle and grooming. TJ, you got a face. You got a beautiful fucking face.
Oh, buddy, you're going to make me blush.
Yeah.
And if you can, for those at home, I'm blushing right now.
And you can see that you're blushing because you shave your face.
Oh, you better believe it.
I live the beard lifestyle, but you have recently started shaving your face again. It's good. You got a good jawline.
I missed it.
Yeah.
I can't grow much in the way of facial hair. Now, I do grow some, and that's where this kind of comes into play. You know, I could never get the exact right length. Right. I always struggled, and I always hated going the clean shave with the razors, and you got to dispose.
Yeah, there's a lot of upkeep needed, a lot of technical equipment needed.
Right.
Our friends at Manscaped helped you out. Not a problem with their new product, the Chairman Pro. That's right.
Yes, the electric foil shaver. A lot of people think Manscaped is just for balls. I always thought, honestly, my introduction to Manscaped was years ago. I just was looking for something to help shave my balls.
Yeah.
And you know what? I have been using this product, this particular shaver that I've had.
The lawnmower, I believe.
Yeah, one of the lawnmowers I've been using for 5 or 6 years now. It's just excellent. Mm-hmm. World-class product. So then whenever it came into play that they were doing a face shaver...
Yeah. You figured the same quality that you get on your balls, you can also get on your face.
Why not treat my face like my balls?
There you go. Yeah, we've been saying it for years. Manscaped really outdid themselves with the Chairman Pro. We're talking a skin-safe 4-blade foil. We're talking a stubble trimmer, so that way you can still show, TJ, that you have a little bit of testosterone.
Exactly. I don't like the clean shave. It gets a little too baby face. Mm-hmm. This gives you that perfect... essence of masculinity, but still keeps it nice and tight and clean, just like you wanted it.
Absolutely. They've got a bunch of stuff with it, and the best thing is it's waterproof. The trimmer specifically, you can use them in the shower, clean yourself up, one-stop shop, or use it at a sink. I think you should look at yourself probably when you're shaving. Hot tip. Hot tip, look at your face when you're shaving.
It helps. Yeah. And my favorite feature on the razors, and it was the same thing on the lawnmower that I just mentioned, the spotlight, the little LED spotlight,
the little flashlight.
So you can see every little detail on your skin.
Can't miss a thing. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
So if you want to pick up the Chairman Pro or the lawnmower, or if I can just shout it out, the crop preserver, you can get all of that and more at manscaped.com. And if you use our promo code Cleveland, that's CLEVELAND at checkout, you'll get 20% off your order plus free shipping.
How about that?
Keganga, what a bargain.
Yeah. You can only get that here.
Yes.
Don't even listen.
Don't listen to other podcasts. I'm sure it's not similar.
That's our world-class deal for you. 20% off.
And free shipping.
Free shipping.
Only at manscaped.com. Thank you, Manscaped, for sponsoring our podcast. That brings us to the next episode, Drewstock. I love this episode.
This was the most. I mean, this
is the most Cleveland episode we've seen thus far, I think.
It was so fun, and it was like, I mean, you see where all the problems come with this show.
For sure. For sure.
Oh, but it rules. Yeah. So we're back, opens up. We're in the brewery. We're in the garage brewery that I forgot existed. Because we've stopped talking about Buzz Beer a little bit.
Business is slowed. Yeah. So the boys, Lewis and Oswald, are reviewing a lease offer that they've gotten to live in an apartment above the Warsaw. The lease agreement is written on a bar napkin because I guess it is the Warsaw renting out the apartment. Yeah.
And, every time we see the cutaway of the Warsaw, it does just look like a house.
Yeah, it kind of does, with a sign out front. Yeah, so it makes sense.
This makes sense for them. I like this move.
I do, too. I think it's really fun. Kate comes in a bridesmaid's dress, which we don't address it.
Ridiculous fucking bridesmaid. She looks like she played a dress up with like a child.
Right. Yeah. She's got like there's like an ornament like halo
Disney
element to it.
Vibe.
Yeah. There's a lot going on with it, but they're all there. Oh, I guess we should also say Kate, being in a bridal party, has realized that she doesn't have enough female friends. Excuse me.
We've been saying it all along. Yeah, girl, Kate, you got to get out there. You got to meet some women.
Maybe she's a guy's girl, though. You know what I mean?
They do exist.
Yeah, there's dozens. But she's being in this bridal party has made her realize that she doesn't even think she's one of 5 women. She doesn't in the party. She doesn't even think she can name 5 women in her life.
No, she has one female friend. She said, but once that girl finds out what she did with her boyfriend, she's not going to be.
It's all over. Wedding. So anyway, they're all there. It turns out to have a Buzz Beer owners meeting. Because I guess they're all co-owners in the business.
Yes.
Business is very bad. That's basically the way I would describe it.
Well, they just got into the black.
Yeah.
And then Kate opened one beer, and Drew's like, we're back in the red.
Yeah. It's over for them all.
But they just got into the black. It's been 1 year. I was kind of like, when they were having this meeting, I'm like, that's not bad, guys.
Yeah, you got to keep sticking with it. But I think Drew's hyper paranoid about it because he needs to make back the money because there's a loan on his house for it.
Yeah.
And all of this. Which, by the way, just in hindsight, how crazy is it that he was just going to let his parents live in that house that he took a loan out for?
I was always kind of, I was wondering that when they took it. I was like, oh, he could just kind of fuck them.
Yeah, he could let them default with it. Yeah. So I think if I heard this correctly, they have to basically sell a bottle of beer for $30 to make a profit.
Yes.
So they don't know what to do because nobody's going to buy a $30 bottle of beer. Kate does have an idea that I enjoy, which is they sell the beer in a bottle shaped like a vase. And then once you're done with the beer, you have a pretty vase that you can put flowers in or whatever you want in. But instead, Drew decides, I think, ultimately, no, we're just going to go out of business. This is the end of Buzz Beer.
Yeah, I like that. He's like, we're just going to go out of business. We got a full tank of beer. He pats on one of the some of the brewery equipment, and he's like, we should just throw a big fucking party and invite everyone we know. And just, give it all away for free.
Yes. So they're going to throw a Buzz Beer farewell party, basically. I just want to know.
That's the most dudes rock answer to your
cool
business.
Guy move.
Yes.
Cool guy move from Drew. Just be like, yeah, no, we'll give it all away for free.
I love that. I need a Drew Carey in my life, dude.
Yeah. I just need a caffeinated beverage party, I think, in my life. I just need a Buzz Beer party.
God, that party's going all night. All those people drinking free coffee beer.
Yeah. After the titles, we see Drew at the Warsaw. He's on the phone with Lewis, and he's annoyed that Lewis hasn't left his apartment yet. And then 5 seconds later, they walk down in their pajamas.
I like that, like, Oswald had the paper, and I'm like, this is good.
Yeah, I
want this for the rest of the series.
Oswald, like, wears, like, old-style footy pajamas almost. It seems like there's a pattern and a button down, and Lewis is just chilling in, like, a bathrobe and a T-shirt.
He's got the Hugh Hefner look.
Yeah. But I appreciate Oswald coming in dressed like a 5-year-old boy, basically, after bath time. I enjoyed it. So they walk down. That's their whole vibe. Now they're just going to, live in...
This is their kitchen now.
This is their kitchen now.
They're sitting at the table.
Kate comes in with a woman. She's befriended. Jewel is her name. She works at Winfred Louder as well.
She works in payroll.
She works in payroll. She's been there for 7 years, and she ain't getting promoted anytime soon, she says.
She makes a classic self-deprecating joke.
How soon into this did you realize what the bit was going to be? The second you see the woman.
Oh, I didn't even... I guess I kind of realized it, but she went into that joke very quickly. That it was like, at that point, I'm like, okay. Yep.
I realized the moment she walked in with her what it was going to be, because the woman is a spitting image almost of Drew Carey. Like,
the glasses are the same.
The glasses are identical. She's got like a short, like, it's femme, but she's like a shortcut. Yeah, it looks like lesbian Drew, basically.
She's like a little heavier set.
Yeah.
Yeah, and she's short. She does have the Drew.
She makes self-deprecating jokes. Her and Drew get along really well. Oswald makes a whole thing about, like, there's something familiar about you. And then immediately after that, her friends come out of the woodwork, and their names are Lois and Olivia. Which is even less subtle in terms of what we're going for here. But Kate has basically found an all-female doppelganger version of her current group.
Oh, it's so good. I forget what kind of harebrained scheme that the other two come in talking about. And Lewis leans over to Oswald and he's like, they're smarter than they look. That was just like a perfect button on.
It's incredible. It's incredible. So yeah, then they exit with Kate. Kate's got her new friends. There's a redheaded woman at the bar that has caught the attention of one Mr. Drew Carey.
Yeah.
To the point where he's like, whatever, it's whatever. An attractive redhead looking at me, that can't be, She comes over and asks for his ketchup. She says that she likes his burger that he's eaten. She's a fan of it too. She's
it's the to be clear, it's the chili cheese burger with double onions. Yeah.
I like that you took that note. I like that this is the kind of way that we watch the show, is that I'm like trying to get the plot.
You go
and
through
you're
the
like,
plot.
I need the double onion.
And I'm like, oh yeah, she worked in payroll. This is the double cheeseburger with onions.
But yeah, so it turns out, they exchange name, or I guess Drew gives her his name.
Yeah.
And, we learn she's in town for a conference, I think.
From Akron.
Yeah, she's from Akron. She's a baker out there.
Yeah,
she runs a bakery.
She owns a bakery. Every little detail, we should add, Oswald and Lewis come in with like this choral...
like an
because they
voice.
realize, as we all do, this is Drew's dream woman.
Yes.
It's a beautiful woman that's like a baker that loves the double onion chili cheeseburger.
She's a Cavaliers fan.
She's a Cavs fan. She asks about the score of the game. Yeah.
It's meant to be. This, by the way, I just want to say, just because it doesn't pan out, I thought this woman was going to buy the brewing equipment off of them. Remember, there's this whole panic that Drew has about, like, he's got to make a profit off of the brewing equipment. Yeah, and for some reason,
because... they have to sell this equipment, right? Because he needs to keep his house.
Yes.
So he's entrusted his reliable friends, fucking Lewis and Oswald,
to handle it. And Oswald has gotten like a newspaper ad that's all abbreviations because you pay by the letter. So nobody understands what the fuck it means. But that's where I really thought this was going with this woman. Spoiler, no.
No.
She doesn't buy the equipment off of them.
Well, really, she just wants ketchup, but then she vibes with Drew Carey.
Yeah. So Drew hands her a flyer for this Buzz Beer, farewell party. She takes it. She's in town, I guess, until like the day after or something. Yeah, she's
till Sunday.
And
Saturday.
She leaves. And it's only then that Drew realizes he did not get a name or any contact information for this woman that he's madly in love with. So,
just relying on the idea. Look, he got the flyer out to her. I was like, you're good, Drew.
Yeah.
She'll come to the party.
Yeah.
She said it sounds like a good time.
Meet.
It's free beer.
It's free beer. And, it's not going to get crazy, right?
Right.
Next scene we see at the office, Mimi and Drew are getting into it. Drew is asking Mimi about, like, copier toner.
Yeah, toner for the copier. Yeah. And I laughed really hard at this. She was like, I told you your ass is a 2-machine job.
It probably is. I hate to say it. Big ass on that boy.
But yeah, so anyway, the copy machine's out of toner. I think they're printing the insert for the newspapers, the local newspaper.
Well, yes, and Drew is also printing copies of his flyer for the Buzz Beer thing.
Right.
So he's printing personal stuff at work, which Mimi goes, nah, but she's too busy because today is the day that she's going to have lunch with Mr. Wick.
Right.
She's like been scheduling out for months. He's been avoiding her. She finally got like a date penciled in.
Yes.
So today's the day. She goes to apply hairspray. We get the classic Drew Carey prank of just her hairspray is spray paint.
Yes.
So it's fucking just white that she's spraying onto her hair. She looks fucking crazy.
Looks like a snow-capped mountain.
Yes, exactly. She looks like a snow queen, if you will. You know, going back, throw back to that. But yeah, she decides she can't go out like that, so she hides under her desk from Wick. Wick is thrilled that he doesn't have to go to fucking lunch with Mimi.
Poor Mimi.
Poor Mimi. She just wants to.
I feel bad. She really just wants a little time with her
She just
boss.
wants to sleep with her boss. Is that too much to ask for?
Much?
Back in my day.
She's a woman. She has needs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, yeah, it's, and of course, Drew, you know, is just gleeful about all of this.
Yeah. He's just, it's a good prank to watch her kind of spray that shit.
It's a fantastic
prank.
prank.
It's great. But anyway,
in the midst of this,
yes,
Mimi basically
Wick actually
decides,
has things that she needs to.
Yeah,
that he needs Mimi to do.
He needs her to send out the circular that's going to go in the newspapers, and as an act of payback, retaliation, whatever, Mimi decides she's going to put the flyer for the Buzz Beer Party into the envelope instead of the Winfred Louder ad.
Yeah.
So all of Cleveland is about to get a circular saying that the Buzz Beer Party is happening.
We're giving away free
beer at Drew Carey's house.
Yeah. Can we just talk about real quick? Like, we're in the age of Partyful now.
Yeah.
And everything.
Text blasts and things. Facebook events.
You used to have to make a fucking flyer, dude.
Yeah.
People would read a physical piece of paper. Can you imagine anyone reading a physical piece of paper now?
No. I walk past things that are posted on, like, road signs. Like, you know what I mean? Like Dan Smith will teach you guitar or some shit. I'm not pulling off of that shit.
Right. Dan Smith. Oh, he's still out there trying to teach us guitar.
He's still trying his best. But yeah.
Drew was trying to throw a small party for his close friends.
Right.
And he had to print out fucking flyers.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
He had to print out enough that he was just doing it at work.
What a great excuse to not invite people, though. It's like, oh, I ran out of flyers or I left it.
Yeah.
You know.
So, sorry, dude.
Sorry, man. Anyway, so yeah, all of Cleveland has now gotten this invitation to Drew Carey's parties.
So we see them getting ready for the party. They're hanging up a big banner and making sure the beer's all set. And just underneath all of the conversation they're having just about whatever, you hear traffic noise get louder and louder outside, honking and, cars. And Oswald comes in and basically goes, what the hell's going on outside? Like, your street's just crazy. And that's when they realize they're going through that day's newspaper. Oswald sees an ad for it. Drew pulls his out of his newspaper. The next scene is just chaos. All of Cleveland has shown up
to this fucking party.
I think literally all of Cleveland.
The goddamn mayor is there.
The first person we see, so it's a mob in Drew's house. He's trying to get attention. He's trying to scream on the table just like anybody that'll listen. Like,
the camera angles, we got to say, in this scene were great, too.
Wide.
Because they had big, wide camera angles, and they also had like a jib getting like aerials of it was good.
It's kind of nuts.
Yeah.
But we run into the mayor of Cleveland at the time, Michael White, who's just there taking
the literal mayor. They got
the mayor of Cleveland. It was cool.
That rules.
Yeah, just a short little dude who is taking a phone call. Like, I guess it's like important business, but he's also he's a man of pleasure. He's at the Buzz Beer Party at the same time.
Damn, I'd love to see like Mayor Adams in a sitcom today.
Mm-hmm.
Is there a New York sitcom today? Mayor Adams.
Oh man, he would have been great in 30 Rock.
Yeah.
He would just improvise.
No,
he doesn't even have to have a script.
Oh man. No, but that's good. Yeah, the literal mayor of Cleveland is there. They also have, we come to find, Bernie Kosar of the Cleveland Browns.
Right, they're out back, trying
to get more beer.
Trying to get more beer and also just trying to get away from the mob. And Cleveland Browns quarterback Bernie Kosar just comes in. I guess he's throwing the football to the mayor.
I guess, yeah.
I don't know what it is. He comes in with the football. He thinks it's a bathroom. They gave him permission.
They were like, piss wherever you want.
We love you so much. We'd be honored for you to piss anywhere, sir. Yeah. We also see, so Kate is at the party, obviously, but she didn't bring her friends because they all said they had different plans.
Yeah.
And then once the entire city of Cleveland showed up, her friends appeared without her in the kitchen, and we learned that they think that Kate is too girly. Kate's trying to get them to talk about like shopping and this and the other boys, like they're not grown women, like men, things like that, dating. They're not interested. They have their own subjects. They think she's a little too girly and a little too angry all the time. And then Kate tries to fight them, and she gets basically pushed out of the party. Like, doesn't she get crowd surfed?
Yeah, they literally pick her up, and this is where one of those jib camera angles comes in because they like start hoisting her away through the crowd.
Yeah. It's good. It's good stuff.
Funny. But yeah, it's truly mob. There's not an inch to move in there. No.
Drew is desperate to find this redheaded girl.
Yes, apparently she's there and she's looking for him, and they just keep missing each other.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
of course, it's just too many people.
It's destined to be. Drew tries to go upstairs, and there's a bouncer who won't let him in.
Yeah, he's the world's largest man.
Yeah, he's not on the list of the bouncer.
He's like, "That's my room. This is my house.
You're not on the list." We find out why there is a list and why there is a bouncer, and it's because upstairs is Joe Walsh and Little Richard, who are having a chess match.
In Drew's
They're playing chess in Drew's bedroom. Mimi's up there. Mimi's on the list.
Yeah, Mimi got on the list.
How the fuck's Mimi on the list?
Well, that was the thing, right? Is he sees that the redhead he's looking for was let up, and then all these beautiful women were getting let up, and then he was like, "Oh, I get it. You're letting the beautiful people up," and then Mimi comes down.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't get it anymore.
Yeah, and then eventually they come down. We find out they're in town because of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I guess something's going on over there. And they heard about this rockin' party with free beer. And then it eventually leads to them performing out back.
Yeah, they have a stage set up in the backyard. Or I guess it's on the pool table.
Right.
And they do a full...
They get a whole ass grand piano. Right. We see, so they're trying to figure out how they're going to do it, and somebody floats in a guitar, crowd surfed, jib shot, same for Mr. Walsh. Little Richard just fucking summons a grand piano.
Yeah.
No questions asked.
I'd like to see them crowd surf that grand piano.
It would have been fucking cool. It would have been cool. So
now they're in the backyard.
They're playing Rocky Mountain High or Rocky Mountain Way. Excuse me.
Rocky Mountain Way.
Rocky Mountain High is a different thing, and
it'd be a weird energy for that for Drewstock.
But yeah, so they're playing that. It's great.
They make an announcement too right before Oswald's like, "Hey everybody, Drew's house is now the 10th largest city in Ohio."
Everybody goes crazy. Yeah, and it's just, we end with shots of them all dancing and swaying. Drew, this is one of my favorite parts of the whole thing. Drew spots the redheaded woman, and which, by the way, we should just acknowledge is a reference to Charlie Brown. Explicitly, Drew realizes where they haven't crossed paths, and he says, "Good grief." I loved it. I loved that we finally acknowledged it. A redheaded woman without a name being fawned over. But yeah, he spots her from across the way, and she blows him a kiss. He blows her a kiss back. The kiss is intercepted by Joe Walsh, who's confused and then blows a kiss back to Drew. Perfect.
Oh, it was so good.
Perfect. No notes.
And as they're going over the crowd, I made you rewind for this.
Yeah.
The guy that plays the devil earlier in this season is also just at this party.
Yeah, from The Devil You Say, that guy just shows up and he's
But yeah, so then I started looking around the audience just to see like who. It feels like everybody that they've ever had in this cast was in this scene.
Yeah, absolutely.
Packed in the backyard.
We've got, Mr. Wick's there, obviously.
Mr. Wick in that leather jacket, looking cool,
looking
dude.
Fly.
Yeah.
And then everybody else, is there. It's a whole lot of fucking people.
Yeah, God. Oh, to be in that had to be the day to remember. Mm-hmm.
Drewstock, baby.
Just getting hammered on caffeinated beer for free.
Getting fucked up, and then you can't go to sleep.
It does seem like a nightmare of like, I would never go to a place that crowded.
Yeah.
It reminded me of like the U.S. Open when we were there earlier this year.
Oh, shit. Yeah, just too many people, and you feel like the whole thing's a fire hazard.
Yes. But that was sick.
So, and then I guess the credit scene here is Drew.
They're cleaning up.
And everybody's cleaning up. They keep getting phone calls, though, for people asking where they can get Buzz beer.
Yeah.
And they keep getting them over and over. And it's like the 10th one that Drew has to say, sorry, we're out of business. business. They hang up. And then, Kate's like, I think, we should do something about this. Obviously, there's, demand.
And Oswald was like, we should. I was like, why don't we just unplug the phone?
It's perfect. But no, then they decide at the end of all of this, no, you know what? We've introduced Cleveland to Buzz Beer properly. Let's keep it going.
It ended up being the perfect way to just generate business.
Yeah.
Maybe. We'll see. I don't know. They probably lost a lot of money giving it all away for free.
I'm sure. But so Buzz Beer stays alive even by the end of it. I really was like, oh, there's no way this is the end of Buzz Beer.
Yeah, I couldn't.
It's so
it was iconic.
Yeah, it's so iconic and it's just so like early. Though I don't know. I mean, I thought we Drew and Lisa was going to be a lot, and then now she's moved. She's gone from the show forever.
I don't know what's sticking around.
No, fucking, we'll never know. But that is season 2, episode 14, baby.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
What was good couple of eps, I guess. We're going to we're really cooking here. We're halfway through the second season. But
they're finding a rhythm. They feel comfortable. I like the character dynamics. We're all good.
Chilling. I hope we just get more fucking crazy cameos.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Somebody wrote us earlier in these tapings about like the cameos that we were going to see, or maybe it was just somebody telling me, and I'm like, yeah. I can imagine at this point, it just keeps building and building.
As it gets bigger and bigger, for sure.
I mean, I know the mayor of Cleveland isn't a big one. I think it's a funny one.
It's still pretty cool.
But I like how Cleveland-centric. I like that it's all Cleveland-centric, but I don't know, fucking Little Richard is awesome.
Yeah.
That's crazy. So,
did you see, by the way, just before we sign off here, you sent this to me, I think, actually, now that I'm thinking about it. I've had a couple people send it to me, but the Warner Brothers lot in Los Angeles, I guess, was getting rid of all of the papering that they had done for new shows and old shows. They were trying to tear them.
And they had a bunch of Drew Carey ads.
They had a bunch of Drew Carey ads, and one of my favorite ones was just Drew It instead of Do It.
Yeah.
Drew It Wednesday nights.
And it's always that photo of them from like the high angle looking up with the big eye or whatever. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Drew probably looks better from a higher angle, I would imagine. He was probably personally requesting it.
Yeah.
But yeah. No, I love it. Everything old is new again.
Yes. It's coming back, baby.
It's coming back. We are on
Tell your
the
friends,
wave.
get on this bus now. It's coming.
Subscribe to the pod. I guess watch it however you can. Plex, whatever. Plex isn't paying us, but whatever. If they do want to pay us.
If they do want to play us, doors open. If not, I guess we'll keep giving them free. Just watch it there. Watch it
wherever. Yeah, that's all I think all we got. Follow the pod on Instagram, instagram.com/Cleveland Rocks Podcast. You can email us, clevelandrockspodcast@gmail.com. Please send your emails.
And go to Manscaped and use promo code Cleveland
for 20% off your order. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Take care. Bye, y'all.